I have met people that think, well, I don't set goals, I don't take time for goals, but they still have goals and objectives that they want to meet in their life. But I'd like to address something that you may not have thought about. Are your goals conflicting amongst themselves? In the 1980s, when I was doing consulting for doctor offices, I did about 1,000 doctor's offices during that decade. And I watched doctors set unbelievable goals that conflicted. Let me give you an example. They said, I want to make $1 million a year in practice. And then I want to work 3.5 days a week. And then I want to travel. And I want to spend time with my family. And I want to be able to go golfing. And I want to be able to work out. And I want to do all these different things that they wanted to do. And when we added up how many hours that they wanted to do them, how much money they wanted to generate, how many patients they were seeing, how many dollars each patient visit was, and I put them all together and we looked them out, it was filled with contradictions. And so the brain, when it gets that, it goes, I don't know what to do with that. And so it just shuts down and associates pain and conflict with the very pursuit of goals. And if you wonder why you can't stay focused on them, because they're one, not achievable, and two, your brain is associating pain with going after them, because it's confusing to the brain. It says, I want this, but I want that. It's like you're saying, I want to spend time with my family and my children, but I want to grow my business, and I have to, and in order to do it, I got to put 40 to 60 or 100 hours a week into it. And so you're going, but I want to do this, and you're juggling these goals. And a lot of people understand what it's like. It's kind of like the supermom syndrome at home, but it's like the super life syndrome with goals that conflict with each other. If you've never taken the time to look literally and write down in your mind what you really, really know for sure you want in life. Not fantasies, not delusions, but things you know your life is demonstrating you're working towards, and write them all down. And then look at exactly what is the amount of work it takes to get there, and how do you effectively and efficiently take the actions to get that goal. How much time it's going to take. And then look at all the other goals and check and make sure you've literally set goals that are reasonable, that are doable. Now, that doesn't mean you can't delegate actions to get it done. And that may be the key to the goal. You may have to outsource some of the components of the goals to get it all done. But if it's not congruent with you, either outsource it, rearrange it, reschedule it, or figure out a way of doing it more effectively and efficiently in less time. But somehow the goals have to be real. And I'm amazed at how many people set these fantasies up and these delusions up, and they just can't get them done. The brain won't allow it. And so I just want to take a few moments to discuss how important it is to go through your goals in every area of your life, because you're pursuing things in all areas. You have spiritual quest, you have intellectual quest, you have business quest possibly, you have financial quest, family and relationship quest, you have social influential quest, you have physical fitness quest. All of them, if you write down all the things you want, you'll be surprised. You may be feeling lots of conflict trying to get them all, juggling them all. And you're doing this, and then this one's dropping, doing this, and this one's dropping. You need to have a cohesive system that you focus, that allows all of them to be included, and you need to make sure that they're not conflicting. I used to do a program, an original form of master planning for life. I still do that program today, and we map out and look at all the goals. But we used to do it on a big, big poster board and map it all out and make sure there was congruency and make sure there wasn't overlapping in time. And the second people saw that clearly, they got inspired. They saw how they could do it. They knew the action steps, and they didn't have conflicts. That is huge in goals. And sometimes it's overlooked and not addressed. So many people are out there teaching about how to set goals and everything else, but that one component, are the goals conflicting with each other? So important to stop and reflect on that. If you don't take the time to look very carefully, like I said with the doctors, they say they want to make $1 million practice. They want to work 3 or 4 days a week. Let's say 4 days a week. Okay, 4 days a week. $1 million practice means they have to make about $80,000 a month. Well, in a month, there's 4 weeks. So that means they need $20,000 a week. And let's say that their office is $40. They can need to make $20,000. That means they need to see 500 patients a week. Well, they want to do 4 days a week. That's 125 patients a day. And then it means, well, that means I've got to go out and market and get 125 patients a day. Well, then but I don't want to work that many hours, and I can't charge that much. And all these things come up when you actually confront them and they realize, oh my God, what I'm asking for is not even possible with what I'm asking for over here. And I'm wanting to go golfing. I want to spend time with my kids. I want to do this. I don't have the hours to do that, and I don't know how to charge that much. So we either got to rearrange the goals and make sure that there's congruency to map what's really true for their life, or they're automatically going to defeat. And this is exactly what happens. People put internal frustrations because they don't have any clarified goals that aren't conflictive. So I just wanted to take a few moments to share that, because you may or may not be aware of your goals. Some are conscious, some are unconscious. And you may not be aware of the conflicts that they are initiating. And if you're having anxiety and stress around them, you may be doing it because of the way you've structured it. And taking the time to actually write them all down, look at the strategies, look at the hours, look at the income, look at all the things you need to do, and get real. The moment you get real is a huge load off your back. You now know what you can do, you can get the things done, it's more reasonable, and you don't fight yourself. But just know that you can always outsource and delegate other components to get things done. Let's say you want to write a book. You can sit down and write it yourself. That may take hours and hours and hours. Or you may be able to sit down and do a presentation and record it and have somebody transcribe it, or a system to transcribe it, and then give it to an editor and get a buck done. You may have to go work over here making the income and pay for somebody there, but the goal can get done, and you're more likely to get it done because the hours won't allow otherwise. And you don't want to go and dilute your hours and can't guarantee that you're going to get a return on your investment from the book compared to the hours you could be doing your primary business. So you have to be structuring your goals in such a way that you maximize your most productive use of your time in the highest priority way, delegating as much as possible, and making sure the goals aren't conflictive. If you have delegation, you have way more latitude to make sure you can overrule that conflicting component. But just know that if you don't take the time to go through it, you may be sitting there banging your head against the wall trying to get goals that are actually contradictory to each other. And I've seen this after working in 1,000 doctors' offices in the 1980s. I watched this over and over again happen. I only found 2 doctors that had really clear goals that didn't conflict. The rest of the people had conflicts, and they're wondering why they're banging their head against the wall trying to get things that they said they want. You can't put fantasies and delusions down and not strategize through that. That's the reason why we have an executive center, to strategize goals and to think it through. And anybody that's run a major business knows that that's important, to put that thing together and make sure you have it mapped out thoroughly, or at least unfold it gradually over time. Because otherwise you're just going to frustrate the hell out of yourself trying to go after something that's contradictory inside your own mind. I had that in my own experience back in the 80s myself. That's where I learned that. I said I wanted to do this. I said I want to do this. And I realized I was running out of time. I just couldn't do it. And at first I was trying to overwhelm myself with goal overruns and also not sleep. But I realized that I had to prioritize, and I had to realize I had to get grounded and get real about it. And that calmed down fantasies and got grounded into realities and allowed me to achieve more. And once I got congruent on that and got it clear, I got way more achievement, way less frustration, a lot less activities, and a lot more delegation. And I freed myself up to do more extraordinary things and build momentum. So I wanted to take the time to give you those insights. Every week in the Breakthrough Experience program I do, I have people write down love list, but I explain to them how important it is to go through and really make sure you're not writing just a bunch of fluff down. You're really making sure that you're getting clear about that and make sure it's congruent. If it's not congruent with your highest values, it's not thought through where there's removing the conflicts, you're very likely to bang your head against the wall and frustrate the hell out of your life, going after what you say you want. Your brain will automatically want to avoid it because of the pain of actually processing it. So make sure you set goals that are clear, make sure that they're congruent with what you value most, make sure that they're not conflictive, and make sure that they're prioritized, and make sure you give yourself permission to delegate anything that's lower in priority to get you to fulfill what's highest in priority.